So do you want to be able to hear us here? Okay.
Yeah, it's on video, so it'll record us talking.
Do you want to like trial it?
I also have a little, in my room, I have like a little microphone that clips on so that it goes to the phone, but you gotta Bluetooth it.
So do you want to do a short thing and then see if it shows up?
Yeah, we'll just do this for now, and
Okay,
then we can
cool.
add whatever edits later to do
Yeah.
as we go. So we have Laura and Jen here today in Alternative Bodywork Studio. We are going to showcase a little about, we both are somatic practitioners. Laura offers a lot with somatic movement, and I've adapted a somatic yoga dance class that I teach on Saturdays at 2 p.m. for anyone that's interested. I'd love to see you. And we've decided to collaborate and kind of join our class together. And for those that want different times, have different times too. So we're going to introduce you guys to a fluid somatic movement class and what that would look like when you come to see us.
Woohoo!
Laura, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, just that you can find more of my stuff online. I actually travel, so I won't always be here to teach a class. Sometimes I'll be traveling and teaching in person in various locations, but you can always find me online.
Wonderful. So I guess we'll find a comfortable seated position. Or I will.
I had time to already do that.
You're already cozy.
I feel perfectly cozy.
I might even actually remove the cushion just to have a firmer. If you don't want the elevation in your sits bone, you can also just sit on the floor.
Yeah, and I have tighter hip flexors, so generally it's more comfortable for me to sit on something like a cushion so that my knees can be even with my hips or lower.
So when you first come to your mat to, start, you can start any which way you like. We're going to start with seated and start movement from the hips and the sacrum. And then we'll start to stack the movements up the torso, in the shoulders, out the arms, and up through the spine and the crown of the head, and bring in the chakra healing kind of moves with this. So for a lot of people that maybe don't know what somatic means, how would you describe that?
I mean, honestly, I would just describe it as your senses. So if you can touch yourself, put your hands on your body, then you're in a somatic world. And when we do something like somatic movement, we're just noticing those sensations. So it's more about
attuning to your body.
Attuning, that's a good word. Any word you want to use. Yeah, sensory.
It's bringing all of the senses back to center. And for me, one of the reasons I like the practice and the reasons that I found to come to it in the first place was because as a body worker, being so extrasensory in other people's energy, I found that I needed the practice for my own grounding work, for my own practice. So that's kind of why I liked teaching it.
Yeah, I like your point. I didn't think about this before, but it's really true that when I'm doing something somatic, like moving, it's almost like I'm in my own little bubble and I'm feeling my own body or my own heart or my own emotions just within myself, and I just get to feel it almost like laying in a bed of grass, kind of like,
or like the breeze over your
or
body.
the breeze over your
nice
body.
day.
It's just without any judgment, let's say. It often brings me to a place of bliss, so that's kind of why I like it. But yeah, the external world, you don't have to put your energy out there when you're doing it, and you can kind of take a break from all the go or doing in the outside world.
So this is also brings to mind, this is also a really great practice then for the highly sensitive people out there that just have really attuned senses, like body workers, chiropractors, any kind of, touch-oriented jobs, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I have not been a body worker most of my life. I was actually an engineer, but I am highly sensitive, so I think it applies to anybody who's highly sensitive.
That picks up on a lot of feelings in the room and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's something to try at least.
Another way to practice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna not so much.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna use it more as a pillow. So from here, go ahead and just start with your breath, and really just with the count of 4 in mind, start to just attune your breath. You know, feeling the breath on the count of 4, holding it at the top. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4. So we'll just start with that. Maybe just find where you start to feel the respiration in your lungs, and feel how it makes your nervous system. You feel more calm with your breath. Do you notice it getting hung up anywhere in your chest? And just allow the breath to just penetrate in any areas of your body that it needs to go. And just notice. Say we'll take that for 4 breaths. Keep it even. And when you start to feel your nervous system maybe settle or calm, and then just start to move your torso maybe forward and backward, nice and slowly.
Like hinging from the hips.
Hinging at the hips, forward and backward, and just very slow ebb and flow.
This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
My favorite part is like when I start to move slow.
Because I'm a fidgety person as well, I would say. And I think for any kind of alchemist type that senses the energy, it's almost like you're trying to ground it down as well. Like, you know, at least that's how I would describe it sometimes.
My neck just cracked.
And these are almost like just little waves throughout your body. It's not like structured, stacked yoga movement in any way. It's more just open ebbs and flows of movement. There's no right or wrong structure to how you get centered in your body.
So people might want to know that, you know, I started moving front to back, and then I just naturally decided, oh, I wanted to roll my neck a little bit too, and now I want to move left to right, and all of that's okay. We're not necessarily giving you prompts for everything, but we will along the way give you kind of options, right? So if you haven't done it before, then at least you have something to work with. I like the slower the better because it feels so easy on my body. Like it doesn't push any of my edges hard, but it kind of like wakes up the tissue. It gets the tissue. For me, I can feel it. Like my back.
It's a warming up of.
Yes, it almost feels like, ooh, I didn't know my back was really tight, and now I just feel it come like, kind of like it's releasing a little bit, some tension, but I'm not trying to force it at all.
And, maybe Laura, share a little bit, you do have, from her physical body standpoint, you do have some back issue stuff.
Yeah.
So this isn't harming your back in any way. It's
Right.
actually allowing the space in the spine and the vertebrae
Exactly.
to give it what it really needs to connect better. And I will share me physically right now. Like, I actually just tweaked my neck really bad this week, and I've been kind of not able to turn my head without my whole body like a robot. So I'm trying to really just not tweak anything super sharp, quick movements. I'm trying to just enjoy allowing the rhythmic opening to allow the body to heal itself naturally and slowly, with heating pads and
one of the things I offer is polarity therapy, which was developed by Randolph Stone, and he has this very simple but profound quote that says, "Nature's way is gentle," and the implication is, I think he says this also, is if it's not gentle, it's meant to destroy. So healing, a lot of healing really comes through kind of easing into stuff, because you need to feel safe in order to allow yourself to move beyond whatever it is, to heal, whether it's mental, emotional, or physical. And it's the same, with your physical bodies. We have neurites, or neurons, but I think they're called neurites, actually, I'm not sure. All over that are sensing, pressure and temperature, and they're sending that information to the brain in a way that interprets it as, are we safe or are we not safe, right? That's sort of the ends of the spectrum. There's a lot in between, but are we safe or not safe? So if we're not safe, then our brain sends messages back to the body to protect, contract, close up. If you're trying to heal a physical injury, for example, or even something emotional, you really need to have that relaxation and openness for your system to be able to heal properly.
Yeah, and I just think the body has all these different mechanisms and, its own self-sustaining, holistic ways of connecting things back together and healing from a cellular, be that supplements and minerals and plant-based products, and allowing space emotionally to acknowledge and attune and allow your body to do what it's meant to do on its own. The upper body first, and kind of just do like arms, waves, kind of just do the upper body first, and then we'll stretch the legs and start some standing.
Okay.
Slowly move into standing stuff. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that first, or do you want us to just move right now?
Yeah, so, I would say some of the somatic movement, I generally try to start, with the grounding and the breath work, just to become more grounded in your movement, and then kind of stacking the other body parts, just like I would do for a yoga class or maybe in body work sessions. Starting with the hips and the torso, to ground that area first, and then maybe the heart center, and kind of working up the spine, up the shoulders, out the arms, and then kind of coming up to a standing position. So we'll walk you through that here today, slowly, as we feel like what we need. And then we'll kind of share what we feel like, what feels good for your body with your not the movements do not have to be the same from one student to the other either. You know, these are all very objective movement patterns, you know.
My thoughts on this is like they won't be the same because you're gonna want to move a totally different way.
People have different problem body areas when they arrive to class, so the movements are all gonna look different in each person.
And we're just unique people. Like we'll have a tendency to want to move certain ways, and that's okay too.
And what feels good for you might not feel good
Exactly.
in my area.
Yes. All right. So what do you want to share?
Well, I don't know. I'm just. So I feel like for me, I want to kind of also stretch my legs out.
Yeah. So we can like include the legs now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get rid of this bolstery thing.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get my legs opened up and just kind of bring some somatic fascial stretching to the backs of my legs to warm up the blood flow here for movement.
So can you explain what you're doing so I can copy you?
So I'm just doing, you know, what would be just like a seated forward fold to get the fascia lines opened up on the backs of my legs and thighs. So kind of, I think here I'm just bringing in some of the just basic yin yoga stretches.
Okay, and can I share something then on that? So because I have a tight lower back around my sacrum especially, I can't do the stretch very well right now. So for me, what really works to get the blood flowing and open up the fascia maybe is to put my hands on my legs and slide my hands down just so I'm getting a little bit of sensory touch and not worry so much about my form and not try to stretch, but really just try to relax myself and feel kind of good. So I'm just gonna do that while she does her method.
And then I'm just gonna start to kind of open up my hips and sacrum just to kind of bring, you know, still keeping with that kind of circular pattern rotation throughout the entire hip chain. Still kind of doing the somatic touch as you know, maybe hold your toes and kind of self-massage the bottoms of your feet here. A lot of times it feels really good. I always educate a lot of my clients after massage therapy sessions to just massage your feet at the end of the day. We stand on our feet, we use our hands all day. You know, these areas are meant to be foundational for our movements. So take care of them.
It feels good.
Yeah, and also do, you know, in the somatic yoga class, do what feels good to move with. Like your body is really here for you to feel good in. So using it to feel good. shake. I'm doing this really just to kind of help open up my diaphragm, my stomach, my chest, my lower back, even my shoulder that's sore. Slowly begin to come to a rising stand.
Your partner as you wiggle that in.
I think it would be cool too to do like couples dance, right?
Yeah.
Like the acro yoga. You can see each other.
It's like fun.
And then I even like, just kind of, just starting with some of circles.
It's 2:57.
Yeah, so we'll cut it. We'll just do the rest of the standing and cut you off. This helps kind of, you might notice some snap, crackles, and pops in your joints and your ankles and your hips. Whatever areas have been tight and needed that extra natural chiropractic. This is also really good just for dancers to get back in tune with their bodies again. Ballerinas, anything like that. I just like dance. Or if you just like to dance and you want to come dance with a group.
Yes. Which I know I always do. The more community, the better.
More community. Great. Well, shall we? Thank you for practicing with us today. We look forward to seeing you in class. This is Jen.
Laura.
That's Laura.